I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Hello everyone, Tiny Sonic here, and welcome to the next episode of called Juarez Gunslinger. Now I know I haven't been doing a lot of videos on this one because it's been crappy recording it. Stuff's been happening with the recordings, so I haven't been playing it. I'll try and get it all done. And my plan is a couple videos left in the series. I play for a while. Just play for a very long time. Get a lot of these chapters done. But yeah, I'm just gonna get it going quickly.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant, and hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits, and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him. As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men, but Samuel Colt made them equal.
Did not know this was back here. Can you get that hand cannon? I don't know where I'm going. What does that do?
Oh yeah? Well, who the hell is that then?
Don't let him get a shot off!
I killed them all.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches.
That?
There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors. Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Dangerous, desperate individuals. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other.
I do not deserve to die like this.
He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was touched, or had some kind of death wish, seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way. Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell. A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
Time to blow your shit up.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come. With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at.
Okay, now you're really pissing me off.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tomb.
Go.
I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane.
Thanks. I do not have oh, move.
It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried
They
it.
should have changed the cutscene for that.
Instead, I spotted a ladder way into the mine from the opposite side. It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution. I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder. I picked the more convenient and more dangerous route.
Show yourself, coward!
Got bolts, probably wood bulldozers.
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Let's take him down, boys. This boss fight, I played it many times before. Time to record this goddamn video. Any bullet? I get a Tommy gun. Bird out my window.
They're gonna need a dustpan to pick this day is just getting worse and worse for you, ain't it? Oh!
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was gonna take some doing.
God damn it! I need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out!
Hey! What's the... Hey! Stop! Really killing me?
Ooh! No blood money for you! How you like that? They're gonna bury you in a million pieces!
Ay, ay, ay. He shoots fast that time. Maybe I should use concentration on him.
Catch this, you son of a bitch! I'm going all medieval on your ass! They're gonna bury you in a million pieces! You ain't taking me! They're gonna bury you in a million pieces!
Oh my gosh, I can't see because the flippin'. I don't think I put like a flippin' like a.
Well, that one, didn't you? You can shoot whatever you aim!
You flippin'.
I got a lot more dynamite than you! Go for it! Just kill him!
my gosh, if I could make this flippin' difficulty easier, I could. What just happened? What just happened there?
Boom! No blood money for you today! I'm going all medieval on your ass! You ain't taking me!
No. Oh, I got him.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Sucked. So much. Alright. Election number wait, it's number 5. I'm gonna do number 6 now. We have 14 of them. These are gonna be longer episodes, probably.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself.
Episode 4.
Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Billy the Kid. Not this one. This one's even worse than the last one. If I remember correctly, that is.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
You are dead.
I thought the Texas Rangers got Hardin.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe.
Moving shot, point blank, you are dead. Moving shot multiple times, you're dead.
It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them. They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. And most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. And that was easier said than done, as most of them were as foolish and full of bravado as I was. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the bull's head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcome presence.
That's a first. Tell Hardin someone's coming for him.
Stop that son of a bitch!
Let's run through.
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
Die! I've literally been playing a game where it relies on my accuracy.
I'm gonna shoot you dead.
I wondered if Bob was among them. And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better.
Where am I going? Going the back way? This is fun, this is fun.
Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story.
That's a timed event that I need to do.
I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
He's hard to hit.
mention that I found Hardin in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me.
Oh my gosh, I had no thoughts. I was in the saloon though.
In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
You're dead.
You better hide.
I ain't hiding,
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Look at the cards now, it's like... Dang.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him. No, wait! You didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Can you die?
That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count. And now, he was at my mercy.
He would not fire straight.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back at a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben?
Finally, I can get back to the regular. Get back to playing it in order. Let's play our game. Story. Continue. Should be on episode 7.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
So we're fighting a...
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
Dances with Renegades. I like it. I see what it does. So, basically, what that is, it's a Apache, or it's a Native American saying, like their name means something. Like
a bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
A long time ago on a mountain far, far away.
Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him. They saw me before I saw them. crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
Oh my, I couldn't see because of the greenery.
They saw me before I saw them.
I pressed F. I pressed my attack button. This game is very iffy on how this works. Yeah, my attack button.
They saw me before I saw them.
I pressed F. Oh my gosh. My scope is 5. Options. Game. There's only normal and hard. So even if I wanted to play easy.
They saw me before I saw them.
Bomb in there.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there.
No, I turned the other way. It's hard.
I'd admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Okay. Hey, hey, hey. Didn't help at all.
A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Nice shot. What the? At least I got the checkpoint. This is so stupid. These deaths are dumb. I think it's a very long video. It's like I made it down here, but I died. Die.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars. They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
Nope. Okay.
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
Who wouldn't collect ammo from their fallen enemies?
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two mescalero women.
at the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. It was good.
We're just okay. I don't want this.
What happened with Grey Wolf?
Shout out to flipping Grease It for being the most annoying thing ever.
Well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death.
I'm not moving.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me.
He's talking.
As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow. I have no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I think that's what died there. So I'm playing his story.
As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
Stop! Oh my gosh! It's a lot of me dying, and I'm not editing this video.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
I fell off the edge. Of course I did. Get up there.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river.
I pressed S. It did not accept it at all. Flamen Caballeros. My young one. Hey. That was A! That was A.
I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo's right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
Okay. One of those. Oh, hello. That is a white person.
I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me.
I don't know how to activate that wild card thing. This seems like
And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches around here.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
maybe there was a hunter.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before.
Okay.
I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
Or he turned into that wolf. The Grey Wolf.
Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
You know, you think since you have a bit of common sense.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
They call me bounty hunter. Maybe we should listen to the playlists. Alright, one final one for the episode. But each episode's gonna be about an hour long.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. The story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, in this case, it is mine.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off.
So am I playing this back?
Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
Hey, we got us a hero. What's holes in him?
Really playing as Ben. I obviously shoot you. You're supposed to die.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
Okay.
First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
What?
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait till something reaches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns.
That. How it happens. Goes. To that.
He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumb? That rifle's mine.
He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did.
Oh, by the way, if you still look at me like this, I'm not. I'm just
It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Is that Silas Greaves?
Jim
Son of
Boo,
a
Davy
bitch!
Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
I like the call us that. So Rachel can. You're not injured. But very much.
Don't need no.
Ever so flat. If you want to dying for those, 'cause I like doing the timed events. Do this.
Over there!
That was us. That was good. Yes.
That's Silas Greaves.
What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. The Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. I was late to the party, and Coffeyville was already up in arms. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
The loser.
I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville. Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. They were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever.
Why did I die there?
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths. Pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
I think he's scared. I'm gonna kill you dead. You maniac! Come out from behind there. Jesus Christ! Show yourself.
Yeah, cool. That'd be cool. Boom, boom.
It's you.
We should be excited that way. What'd you get? Kid.
Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The 3rd brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work. It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Okay. Maybe I should be able to, you know, fire faster and concentration.
Gonna beat you like a red-headed stepchild.
Oh, I should have concentrated. What the heck is that? I'm gonna beat you like a red-headed stepchild. What do you guys like that?
You ain't getting by me, Greaves. Messed with the wrong guy.
No, I hit him twice.
I'm gonna cut you in half. I'm gonna tear you apart.
Oh, you a shotgun.
Messed with the wrong
I got him.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him?
He sure as heck was tough to kill.
But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
I was only ever notified of 2 nuggets, so I didn't look for the 3rd one.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
Alright. Okay. So, that's gonna be where it ends for today's episode, guys. Yes. Yeah. That was a very long episode. I'm very tired from that. I will see you guys in the next episode, which should be about as equally as long. I'm hoping to keep these episodes really long, get stuff done quickly, and get through it. So I got through a lot of stuff that time. Probably 4 or 5 got that time. Next episode we'll take down the Daltons fully, and yeah, see you guys later. Bye bye.